10 years prior, 5 years prior. I just wouldn't have been ready. It's the life experience that I think allows me to bring the nuance and everything to the character, just more dimensions. And I've always believed, and I wonder if people are the same, that, roles come to you, when you're ready, when you think you're not ready, that's when they come for you and they find that thing in you that you need to express. And I think that's what the role of Jax has been. I'm able to just imbue her with all of that because of life experience. And I'm thankful that it's come to me at this time.
Right, well you do it, she does it very well. Yeah.
Thank you.
One things about what you do in this character, of course, being, the lead of the show, you have a tremendous burden. But you also have so many roles where you have to be so strong and powerful in the boardroom, and then you have moments where you have to be vulnerable. So how do you balance that, just in terms of just your day-to-day going on set? Because I know people don't realize you guys see a scene and think, oh, that was real quick, that was a 5-minute scene. But there's a lot of prep work, and to go there emotionally, how do you balance that?
Ooh, this thing is
And that's exactly it, the prep work that goes into it. I'm very aware of where Jax is in the world, in any given scene, and any given episode, and then throughout the whole arc of the show for that season. So I know the journey that she has to go on. And so outside of the script already being fantastic, it's there. Me as an actor, it's my job to make sure that there is that balance. Especially because I know, the things that we love about Jax, her strength, she's a powerhouse, she's a boss. But we've also had this real gift of seeing her go on this journey, see her vulnerabilities, see her broken, see her afraid, all of those things. So I'm very aware of that when I'm doing my work in preparation for each episode, for each scene. I know where she's supposed to be to make sure that there's a balance of that. If there's a moment where, even if it's written, that she needs to be strong in this moment. I asked myself, well, would it be more interesting if she was more vulnerable here? Would that bring another level to it? So there's always that awareness in the preparation.
That's great. Yeah, you do an incredible job with that. McKinley Freeman. So, aside, when we talk about your character, what you guys go through, aside from you being naked all the time, which is he's coming on I'm envious. He inspires me. Aside from inspiring now, a lot of the scenes with you and Jax, you guys go through therapy, as a couple. It's help you guys as a couple, and it's help you guys individually. How important, is it to convey those types of themes to, on screen?
I think, first of all, hello everybody. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all are I think it's important because sometimes you don't know what happened until you actually get a chance to imagine it or see it. Sometimes the door isn't perfect either. You just need to go through it. And I think what season 2 provided was an opportunity for a, kind of, I won't say fair, but unbiased opinion to kind of look at what's happening from their relationship. I think that's important. Sometimes it's the people that are the third parties looking at your life. Sometimes it's the smallest choices that can make a biggest impact. And so I think over the course of Lewis's journey, over the course of the season, it's like learning what it's like being the supportive husband of such an amazing woman. And I think that a process is an evolving thing. It's a day-to-day process. It's a relationship. It's like cultivating something beautiful every day. Anything worth having, you have to fight for every day. So I think that's something that's worth watching on TV.
Right. Now, a lot of things, in regards to your performance, right? So your character faces a lot of challenges, and with the traditional ideas of masculinity and partnership, right? So what people don't know about McKinley, again, if you see McKinley in the bear, you better help the bear, right? Because this brother's fierce. This brother's fierce with it. So how does that challenge you in scenes, like scenes with, her father, to where I know when I'm looking at that scene, I'm like, no, McKinley would have some other things for that brother that's saying. So how do you do that as an actor? How does that challenge you, and how do you go there?
Well, I think actually, on the surface, it's like, man, difficult than, you know, just walking away something. So yeah, it's the fun part about the role for sure.
For sure. Kyle, what's good, brother? So, Pop got you over here, right? So you're portraying a former child star, right? And you know, you're mastering the deeper pain, and you also have challenges. As an actor for you, what type of choices are you making that keeps the audience guessing about where your character is going to go? Because it's easy for them to see the first couple episodes and they're already figuring out everything they have. When you bring a lot of nuance to it, what do you do? What type of choices are you making for that?
That's a good question. First of all, what a gift it is to play a character like Ozzy and live in all these moments with him, such a full character. And I think it starts on the page for me, like the scripts and the world that Emma and the team have built are already so full. There was already so much care put into the character that came to me. And also our directors as well, like on set, they're hands-on, but also, you know, give you the freedom to discover in each moment. So, you know, I do my homework, I do my research, but really I just have to show up and be present.
So one thing about the Onyx Collective family and Hulu, Onyx starts at the top, strong black women at the top, Tara Duffy, Ashley Holland, and of course, Reasonable Doubt with Muhammad. What was it like for you? Because I came in season 2, and it's a great family atmosphere. The kids, they make it very comfortable for me. How was it for you coming in playing a very, very challenging character, very dynamic? How was it coming into this family?
It was incredible. It felt safe, and like you said, I was already a fan of the show. I'm already a fan of these titans on stage with me, and it was easy. It felt safe. I felt safe to explore and take chances and risks, and it always felt like home.
Jax. So your character, you guys do a lot of social tensions and a lot of real life situations on the show, of course. How does Jax's journey affect your own reflection of life? Because as an actor, we constantly reevaluating what's going on, how we're feeling. And sometimes when we get a script, we have to deal with stuff that we probably don't want to deal with and want to address. So how does that affect you? How do your reflection and approach to the character?
You know, Jax's ability to do the work is just an example in itself. You know what I mean? And I think that's been difficult for a woman like her. It feels like she's already done a form of work already. You know, I'm a boss already. Look at what I've done. I'm good. I don't really need too much else unless I dictate what else I need. That's, you know, Jax is kind of coming from that place. And we've been able to see her realize how that thinking was maybe skewed and wrong a bit. And, you know, she's had to fall and figure it out. And there's Lewis right there to pick her up and, you know, realizing the gift in that. And so for me, to be able to look at this kind of woman, this kind of character, who doesn't see it as a weakness to live in her vulnerability, to actually realize there's such a strength in that. And that even within marriage, you know, when she is vulnerable, realizing that, oh, I'm actually the real boss. You know, whether or not he knows it, but just realizing it's more of a power than she would have thought before, you know. So that's something that I can really take.
Okay. Now I think I'm about to ask a question that I think we probably all want to know. There was an episode to where somebody spent the night at home. They spent the night at somebody else's house. And then you spent the night at Tony's crib and you didn't answer your phone. Why? So I didn't see that. So let's ask the question. Why didn't you answer the face call, brother?
Alright, so here's the thing. In the context of everything that it took to get to that moment, you gotta remember, you know, you came around trying to do all kinds of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Take some of that very subsequence. And then, you know, dealing with season 1, you get to the part where it's like, here we are. But I think really in that moment, it's like, what's more important, answering this phone call or fixing the problem? The problem can be fixed today and we won't have to do it anymore. And I think at that point for Lewis, it was like, what's more important, entering this phone call, fixing the problem that I started. And I think that's I mean,
You sure you buy that?
of course, you're gonna co-sign me at the head on the shoulders and the steals on social media. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Boom, taking shots at your board.
Alright. So Kyle, there's a lot of, the fame and publishing movie of Ozzy's story. It can be relatable. I think we've probably seen people, in real life have these type of challenges. How did the themes of this season with your character kind of connect to what's happening in the culture today? And how do you deal with that?
I think it's so timely. Ozzy's story is so timely. Every year there's another documentary or a memoir of a child star that we grew up watching and fell in love with, and where the veil is taken off. We see, what growing up in the limelight, growing up so fast and having to be ahead of your household so early does to someone. And we make TV, we make entertainment, but I think the reality of it is this is someone's reality in some way, shape, or form. These storylines that we're tackling, these characters, these arcs, these relationships, this is real, and that's a beautiful thing. And I love how many people can be seen and see themselves in this role.
For sure. So, one thing I think is I've noticed that to all of you guys, the one thing about, another thing about the show actually is just using the authenticity of the collaboration to push the culture forward. It's the storytelling of the culture. Like we say, it's real, it's authentic. Do you feel a responsibility when you're playing it? How do you feel when you're conveying these moments, knowing that you're connecting like that? Because it is a show, it's one of the few shows, there's so many shows out there, it's one of the few shows that people are constantly talking about. There's a lot of comments about the show, there's a lot of memes about the show. How do you feel when these types of things come up?
I mean, I do feel a sense of responsibility just to be authentic. That's it. And it doesn't matter how it lands. I'm not responsible after that. But to just be authentic, to speak just my truth as a person, as NEIP, but then truthfully as this character and not trying to shy away from anything or, just allowing what other people may think about a choice that the character has made to influence anything. So for me, I think that's part of it, is just being authentic. Because when you're authentic, it lands. The right people will find you. Your tribe will find you. Just be you. And that has always worked for me.
I think the beautiful thing about this is that the fans are so invested in the show and they care so much. It's so funny, like being online, reading the theories and the guesses about what's going to happen. But I would call it responsibility. I think, like Beyonce said, our responsibility is to the moment and to just tell the truth.
I would say that definitely a responsibility, especially from Lewis's perspective, a black man's perspective in this world. It's extremely important. I think we do take a lot of responsibility when it comes to the work and having questions with the writers and the directors about what this means. What is the spirit of this sentence? Like, what is it that we're trying to do? So that's super important. But I think, as we've had the opportunity to keep making the show, I think it's definitely an opportunity and a responsibility to take care of a world that people are paying attention to, that they see themselves in. And I think while we make the show, the director, sound, morals, cast, everybody is like invested, and I really believe that it shows when you guys get a chance to see it.
And I just want to add, in terms of responsibility, you guys are going to be in for such a treat when you see what else Kyle is doing this season, Again, what his storyline is about, child actor and sexual abuse and everything, there's a responsibility to tell that story truthfully. And he has come in to this dynamic with so much just clarity and dedication. And it's been so beautiful to witness Kyle. I just have to say, I really have to say.
I really appreciate that. The best leaders in the business, it's so easy to come to work with you and to do these things with you, make it fun, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because it's one of the top in the business right here, if not the top. For both of you guys now, when we talk about the authenticity, let's talk about the black man and getting emotional. You know, because sometimes that can probably be having a stigma in our community. But you guys do it so well. You guys are very strong and masculine brothers on the screen, and you're not afraid to show it. Was there a second thought for you? I know you guys are very professional. You're going to do your jobs, period. But was there any type of thought when you guys, when those scenes came up?
I mean, with me, I look at it as a tremendous opportunity. I mean, how many times in our lives have we all been in a situation where something happens, it's over, and you wish if you could do it again, you would fight for it, you would say the thing, you would run up the stairs, you would do all the things. So I feel like last year in that scene, in season 2, that was Lewis being like, yo, like I've messed up a bunch of things, but this is the one chance that I have in my life to get it right, and I'm gonna try. And I think that's the thing. I think for me, it's the human thing, it's making most of the present. This can be whatever I want it to be. And I think that's the thing for me that excites about Lewis is the ability to show, be present, and see where it goes.
And those scenes hit, bro. Those scenes that he had, they really hit. Great job with that.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. Growing up, I saw so few black men cry. Like, feel safe to cry, even the ability to cry. And seeing that on screen, I think is important and special. I think for Ozzy in particular, all the way throughout the season, there's moments where he's holding on. I think there's so much fear of vulnerability with black men as well. Like that dance is dangerous, you know. With Ozzy, he's holding on to these things so tight, and then he has these moments of release. And these moments of release could be dancing, but they can be fun and partying, but they can also be, you know, self-destructive. And I think watching black men pull the layers back and fearlessly is a beautiful thing to see with Chris's storyline and how Ozzy's storyline unfolds. It's all the things, and that is what we are as black men. We're all the things. We can cry, we can laugh, we can dance. It's right there.
Now I'm opening this up to the three of you guys. In terms of course, the show really does deal with storylines that resonate with the audience can relate to. Particularly this season, we're dealing with being the only black person in the room. We're dealing with, you know, Lewis, you know, looking to hire a brother, coming to his firm, you know. But now, the climate, you know, in the world in general is such that that's a challenge for people to go into a room and could be to build their authentic self, just to build their own platform. What type of advice could you guys give to someone like that could be experiencing those types of situations? Who could be uncertain, so uncertain right now? Because you know, we're fortunate to have an opportunity we dealt with a lot on our own, but we have an opportunity to get people to see us and be able to relate and identify. So if you guys could, is there any type of advice that you guys would give to people going through those types of situations?
You know, for me, it goes back to authenticity. I just still think it lives in there. And sometimes it will feel as if that's not the answer. Like maybe I need to be like this person or do that. Sometimes it feels like that is not the answer. But it is. I think that, you know, even during those times of transition and turmoil and all of that, when you go back to just the basics of it, to the basics of you, who you are, the things that you want, and you start to focus on that, it just always comes together. Like, what is that? What is that quote? It's like, take the first step and the stairs will appear. You know, I think it's that. And it may not feel good. It may not even feel like it's the right answer. But I think it's the answer. I think it's the answer.
Don't you love that? Take the first step and the others will appear. I love that. I love that. Because so many times we get paralyzed with taking that first step. It's analysis, paralysis by analysis, and just fear. But you have to take that first step in the journey.
I mean, I would say seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness and all things will be added. No matter what happens, I'm not worried about none of this. My soul is angry and I'm focused. I'm not worried about it. I would say that for everyone else seeking for safety in the midst of the storm, there's a place to find it.
I mean, I'm really in the season of what's for you will be